My name is Laura Battaglia, and I'm an assistant professor of interior design at VCU School of the Arts. I also am a practicing architect, and I teach design. For me, I try to teach that design is a celebration and that we take the ordinary and try to make it extraordinary. I always had the sense that design could help people or communities realize an aspirational goal, or it could present an opportunity. So I think when research is blended with design, it makes it very sustainable. I'm particularly interested in empathy and equity. So I'm interested in how design can uncover hidden histories. And I'm also interested in housing, but making it sustainable and equitable for people. The reason I think community engagement is important is actually that it's essential. I think as a designer, we need to listen first when we're doing community engaged work. It's not about us, and we're not designing for us, we're designing for others. I think there's a couple of principles that designers should follow. First and foremost is to design how to listen. Listening is key. The second is to be vulnerable and open. And I think I would say third is to be flexible and expect the unexpected, to not have any preconceived notions or assumptions going into the process. There's so many things I have learned from community partners. I think the most important thing that I've learned is that the process is just as important as the product. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the Swanee Praises project and the St. Mark's community. This is under the umbrella of a larger initiative at Swanee, which is called the Roberson Project. And years ago, Woody Register became the director of this project, and it's really about reconcile with the university's complicated history with slavery. So Swanee Praises is a smaller project, but I think maybe one of the most important, because the idea is that students would design something for the St. Mark's community as a commemorative structure to recognize all the work that they've done in the past to build the university and serve the university. They are an underrepresented Black community, an aging population who's never really been recognized for their work. So that's what Swanee Praises is. It's a multi-year project, and the students have designed something they call St. Mark's Grove. There was so much that was learned. It was a real project, and I like to bring real projects to the classroom because they mimic what we do in the field all the time. The project itself is messy. The project is frustrating. The project is, I hope in the end, very rewarding. And so the students got to experience all of that through this project. One thing I think is key is having really good partners. So I was really fortunate to be working with Kevin Jones from Virginia Tech, the architecture program there, and of course Woody Register and his team at Swanee were amazing. So in terms of what it was like for the students to directly engage, I would say over the course of 3 semesters, the students that were able to meet their community members were impacted the most. We had students that over the summer took a trip to visit with the community. We went to build relationships. The students told me afterwards that was life-changing for them. We learned while we were there that this topic is heavy, but yet there's so much pride. The community has so much pride in people and place. And we realized we wanted to explore that as well in our design. As far as what empathy looks like in a design classroom, to be completely honest, it's a little bit of an experiment. This isn't done a whole lot, but as a child growing up in the 70s, watching Sesame Street, I learned empathy through that. And I knew that this would be something that I could at least try. Typically, a design student has some initial concepts, but what we did instead was we put that aside and we talked to the community members, we wrote them letters, we got to know them, we did archival research, and the students developed some concepts based on their stories, based on the community's stories. So it's kind of a bottom-up approach versus the more conventional top-down approach where we tell a client what they need. We really left it open and tried not to assume anything or have any preconceived notions going in. And I think that kind of emphasis on listening and that kind of emphasis on putting yourself second is really important to empathic design. I do believe that vulnerability is key. The community design process requires openness. It requires an openness to ideas, to many voices, to failure. And so in order to do that, you have to be vulnerable. And that's what I teach my students, that this is actually a very powerful skill to have. House Lab is a relatively new initiative that focuses on sustainable and equitable housing. And the inspiration for that was a student. Ben Wong was a graduate student in the Wilder School and started posting these flyers about anyone interested in entering the Department of Energy's Net Zero Design Challenge. VCU has never had a team before. We need this to be interdisciplinary. And I asked him, would you like me to be the advisor? And he said yes. So from that day forward, we started to really work in this combined space of housing and that's sustainable and equitable, and we've just taken off from there. Design can't do everything. But I think House Lab can actually start to really focus on a couple of these issues one at a time and do the research necessary to make a solution sustainable. Advice I would give faculty or students interested in community engaged design: one, don't feel like you're on your own. We have really great resources here, especially with the Division of Community Engagement. I think that it's a tremendous asset to the university. I would also say, don't give up. It's hard work, but you have to persevere, and you can change the world that way.